they released a trailer for a 6-part documentary series, I believe, about Mr. McMahon. Now, I know when you hear that name, you cringe a little bit because of all of the recent lawsuits that have come out in the past, I would say 3 years, 4 years.
Yes.
And then, with him being a hardcore supporter of some political candidates, that is very polarizing. I know that could be a little strenuous as well. But I'm excited about this one because I'm a WWE fan. I don't watch it regularly, but I can keep up with storylines on TikTok. Gotta love that. But it's one of those things where the World Wrestling Federation, the WWF, that started well before my time, maybe even before yours, probably around your time, by his daddy-o. What he bought out the company, and we're gonna go through that whole process. We're gonna learn his whole life and how, in the trailer, he's making it sound like that the character kind of overtook the real him, and they're gonna not, shy away from all the controversial shit, all of the lawsuits, all of the craziness that is his past behind the scenes of the WWE. And I think it's going to be very cool to see, that transition from, him being a kid watching his dad run this business and then going into him being this billionaire on top of the world, kind of doing whatever he wants. So it's going to be very interesting to see that transition. I'm excited they're not shying away from it, but I think what they're going to end up doing is have the first couple episodes be more factual based, learn who he is as a person, and then they're going to get into all the shit so that you know who he is, and so you can get a better idea of who he is, and
Well,
blah, blah, blah. So I feel like they're going to be a little bit more on, the lenient side than the hardcore aggressive side, but I'm still excited to watch it.
so I think that this series is going to do what we have tend to do now as a society, where we build people up and then tear them down. And
True.
I feel like this series is going to do exactly that. They're going to
Yeah.
build him up and show you how he went from humble beginnings to groundbreaking shit that had never been done before to make him a self-made billionaire and to put him on the world stage. And then they're going to show you how power and money corrupt. Because I do believe that inherently he probably was a good man. And the things
Right.
that he started off with the WWF and how he incorporated Mid-South Wrestling and Deep South Wrestling and all the... Because anybody who was a fan of heels, that's kind of like legit. It was these pockets in certain areas of the country that had wrestling. And what the WWF did and what Vince McMahon was able to do is bring it onto a national stage and somehow merge all these little ones into what eventually would become just the WWF. He basically bought out all these little Mid-South and Deep South and all these things and brought them in. Forced them in. But it is what it is. And so what he was able to do. So, and I believe that was all positive and all great stuff. But clearly at some point, when the money and the power started kicking and he started losing his shit. And I mean, we see it over and over and over again where money and power, if you don't have the right people around you, if you get involved with the wrong stuff, will destroy you. And I feel like that's what happened to that's the Vince McMahon story in a nutshell, right? A good man who built something that nobody had ever seen before for a positive, wonderful thing, and then got torn up by the machine and got corrupted and then just went off the rails, man. I mean, like you said, they're not going to shy away from the raunchy, just disgusting sexual shit that he was doing to people and basically pimping out his wrestlers to do the sexual shit to these people, and then all of the tax evasion and all the kind of just everything that the guy got eventually caught up into. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the first couple episodes will probably be that let's build him up, and then the remainder of the series will be let's tear him down and show you the downfall. But the trailer looks crazy intense. It looks like it's going to be amazing. And I like that because it's evident in the trailer that they are going to tear him down and that they're not going to shy away from all the... But he agreed to be a part of it. They're interviewing him in the trailer. So this is a guy who's like Yeah, I probably did all this shit and I don't give a fuck what you think about me. He even at one point slaps the papers out of the interviewer's hands. He's like, McMahon is McMahon. And he's like, yeah, I'll be a part of it. And if people don't like me, I don't give a shit. So, Kuda, I will say that. I have respect for him for being able to sit there and take it, knowing what it was going to be an attack job at some point, but he agreed to do it anyway. So you got to respect him for that at least, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see because it looks like a lot of historical wrestlers come back and like talk about, what he meant for the business and what he did. But then, yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if the wrestlers touch on any of that shit. So, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Well,
But
because they
now,
were sorry, I just on your point there because they were a part of that. These are guys that probably respected the hell out of him. That guy made them huge stars and made them worldwide people, and they saw his like downslide and the drastic change of personality and who he was becoming. It had to have hurt them. I mean, I'm sure
I'm
that they were
sure.
really good friends with them and had a relationship with him. And it's like anything. If you see one of your best friends or a family member start this horrific downfall into like, of course it affects you. So I would hope that they include that in the interviews because I feel like a lot of those guys, in my opinion, probably tried to reach out and help Vince. Be like, hey man,
Right.
where are we going? You're spiraling. What can we do to help you? Kind of a thing. And so yeah, I think that's going to be a huge part of it. So
Yeah, completely agree, man. Completely agree.